And good morning. Let's do, what am I doing here? I'm doing my morning routine. Today was kind of a late morning. I'm glad though. Not that it's going to be a slow day per se, but that I am able to just kind of relax a little bit today. I'm doing my water routine as usual. Why am I doing the water routine? Look, guys, I can't emphasize that enough to you. People keep asking, they keep, like, well, my water filtration seems pretty good. And I'm like, look, it's fine, but I'm telling you, I've done my research. And they're always like, well, this company says this. It's like, I hate to say it, I don't trust too much of what companies tell me anymore. I've done so much research, I end up always having to do my own. And you'll find, at least what I found, was that these companies are not right for the most part. And I just had to do so much homework to find that out. And this is really going to clean my water. I mean, this is going to clean my water. And I'm putting RO water in this. In fact, I don't know if I've ever shown you guys. You can see the system I have under the sink here. You can see the system down there. So I'm going to clean my water. Now, I left it running at night, which is what I do, so that I wake up to my fresh gallon of extremely clean water. And I mean, and the reason I'm running the RO water in it is because, look, RO systems don't take everything out. But if I use the RO water, then I don't have to use a carbon filter for my distiller. Otherwise, if I do use just straight up tap water, then I do have to use the carbon with the distiller. That's why I always call it the carbon distiller. Because it's a combination. You can't, it's funny, there is no one way. There is no just carbon, just RO. Nothing is gonna clean your water all the way. You literally have to do a combination of either carbon distillation or RO distillation to really get your water super, super, super clean. And then what I do in order to neutralize distilled water, when I'm making it, I put a drop of this, just some minerals, just one drop per 1 gallon. It's not a huge deal, and you don't have to do that. That's what I do. Remember, this is my routine. I'm just showing you guys, because people want to know. They do ask. And look, I did my homework. I hate to say this, I don't listen to companies much anymore. I have found that the majority of them can't be trusted. I hate to say that. I really do hate to say that, but that's my opinion. Remember, not making any claims for or against any product or products. I'm not whatever. This stuff. This is the path that I've taken, and I'm gonna put this into. Now this will really clean any virus, any bacteria, any parasites, all pharmaceuticals. Anything. God knows what's in our water, but that will clean it. And then, and why do I want clean water? Look, I think I mentioned it before, guys. I'm a germaphobe, and I don't know. I don't even think you have to be a germaphobe to want clean water, do you? I mean, I just don't want to be putting something really, really gross in my mouth, and also something that can affect me, my health, and even hormonally. By the way. There's some interesting data in regards to that. I don't know if I should go into it, but all I'll tell you is that extremely important. Now, it's possible, and I'm saying possible, I've been reading about it, and again, I don't trust every source. I always double, triple, quadruple fact check things to make sure that I'm hearing this from multiple sources. But I found some interesting data, and I gotta say, it is kind of interesting. And while I talk to you guys, I'm gonna make the morning smoothie that I make. In fact, somebody was just commenting the other day, they were concerned. Apparently they take a ton of supplements, and they heard me say something about how it can, affect kidneys. And now look, all these companies, and see, this is why companies probably hate me. I'm not trying to bash companies, okay? I hope this is clear. And there are good products out there, but they're extremely hard to find, because that's what I've noticed. Ew, what's on the bottom of this thing? Uh-oh. I wonder if this thing's broken. Looks like grease. Wow, interesting. wonder if it's from the gears or something. I hope, I guess is my blender on its way out, on its way out? That would be, that'd be sad. I better hurry up and go get another one, because I don't know what to do without my blender. Jolman. Oh, good morning, guys. Good morning, Greg. Guten Abend, Greg und Teddy. All right, let's go with Power Shake this morning, as I usually do. I think I'm gonna run out of this stuff before my next one arrives. I just kind of getting that feeling. 1 scoop. Gotta get my nutrients. And 2 scoops. 2 scoops. Maybe just a splash more. How's that? And so yeah, it's important to clean your water if you want to be healthy. By the way, I always forget to tell you guys, if you want the Power Shake, which is what I use because you can see the nutrition on it, it's insane. Because it comes from food. Oh, you can get it at iShopPurium.com. If you want a $50 coupon, you can actually, it helps support the channel. It's Uprising 144K if you want to do that, but you don't have to if you don't want to, but it's hard to say no to $50 off. And it's really good stuff. That's definitely what I'm using. Chlorella. Just a tiny bit because it's very close to being completely out. I just slowly spoon feed it in there. I like the stuff. The thing is, I haven't been very impressed with what I've seen on. I haven't seen specific lab tests of this particular one, but I've seen lab tests of a lot of different ones. And again, everybody always claims they got the best one. And you know how it goes. You know how it goes. My opinions on this, and so this one. So I was talking about cleaning the water. Is water something crucially important to clean? Well, in my opinion, yes, extremely important. Is it the only thing to clean? No. I think that it's possible. And again, I was reading about this. You know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to go grab something downstairs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start washing the veggies. And then go grab something, see if I can get back up here before the whole sink overflows. And there's something that appears to be potentially being sprayed on us. You know, I won't go into the reasons why they do what they do because there's different theories, but there appears to be like some actual data, like, you know, not really conspiracy thing. And one of these things is potentially lithium. But who knows what else? You know, there's been talks about aluminum oxide, which, I mean, there is reports that have been admitted to by certain agencies. I'm not going to go into detail, but I mean, yeah, they admitted. They're like, yeah, we spray some of this stuff. It's called geoengineering. And then I'm looking at this thinking, okay, how do you protect yourself from it? Cleaning your water is one thing. And in my opinion, that is extremely important to have clean water, but it's not the only thing. How can you protect yourself? That really begins to be the question. And I do think I have an answer, now at least the best answer that I can obviously come up with, because you can only do so much. You're not going to avoid everything, okay? If you get blood work, you know, there's going to be stuff that just gets in your system. Okay, let me go grab, what am I going to grab here? I'm going to go grab, I think, I'm going to look for walnuts. got a little bit of powder left. Walnut powder. It's just the crumbs of what's left over from the walnuts. That's okay. Do what we can. So, I was saying, you know, there's certain things in our environment that harm us. And the big ones are the air and the water. I've just shown you already how to potentially deal with the water issue. The good news is that it's not expensive. Because if it was going to cost, you know, $20,000 for some special machine to truly clean your water, not these silly little water filters that go in your refrigerator or anything like that, then that would be a problem. But it's not expensive. Is it a little inconvenient? You know, for me, it's not a big deal. It's just kind of what I do. But maybe for some people who just want everything easy, but I'll tell you one thing, buying bottled water is inconvenient. At least that's my opinion. That stuff sucks. Have you guys seen the reports on that lately? Don't even, you know, it's funny about bottled water. It reminds me of hydrogen. It's silly to buy bottled water. It's actually the most expensive way to get water, and it's actually not even that clean in my opinion. My opinion, remember, it's all my opinions. I'm not trying to make it myself and know that it's actually clean, but it's not just knowing that. I can taste it. I mean, I can really, really taste the difference. Bottled water just tastes like plastic, you know. It's probably just filled with chemicals, and so they can say, yeah, it's safe. Yeah, it's about as safe as, you know, drinking your tap water. I can drink your tap water too and not get sick. Maybe, depending on what area you're in. So the first thing is you gotta clean your water. And not just for health, but you know, for other reasons, guys. I don't know what's going on these days. I will say there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there. I won't go into each one, obviously, but I will say that I'm more of a facts guy, so I tend to look at facts. Fact is, yeah, water's just not that clean these days, okay? Just a fact. Fact is, we can actually clean it. That's what's magical about water. I actually think water is, I probably shouldn't even say this. I'll just say that I think water's magical in the sense that you can get it all dirty, and it's not like a shirt that's been stained. You can literally just clean it with the proper equipment, which usually involves what's called the hydrologic system. It's just something that was designed into nature with whatever you believe, whether it was by God or whether it was just nature or whatever. But the water has this magical property that you can distill it, that you can heat it up and it turns to steam and leaves impurities behind. It's just, it really is, at least in my opinion, it's magical. And the fact that we can clean it is amazing, because if you have to constantly running through filters, you can do that, but it's not going to like fully purify the water. And the crazier the stuff that gets in the water, the crazier this whole thing gets. You know, and so, you know, luckily, some company can build a device that's under $1,000. And there's a lot of distillers depending on the prices you want to get into. And it's pretty awesome. You know, at least I'm grateful for it. It's a pain, but I'm grateful. Why do I say it's a pain? Well, it'd be awesome if we just had a river in our backyard or something you could just drink out of it. That'd be awesome. I love river water. Okay, now I'm going to put pecans in here just because today I don't have the walnuts. And I've been soaking these. And I love pecans. They kind of have a sweetness to them. I haven't actually looked at the specific health benefits of them. And here's a funny thing. Anytime I take a fruit, vegetable, nut, seed, type of food, there always ends up being, you know, certain benefits to it that I can look up. They're very healthy for you. You know, that's just how easy it is. You know, fruits, vegetables, it's kind of easy. Oh, I forgot. I'm trying to sprout my broccoli sprouts here, and I have to rinse them off because otherwise they grow kind of like bacteria and they start going bad. You have to rinse them. Probably usually once a day. Sometimes I do it twice a day. I forgot about that. So I'm glad I noticed. And they're not sprouted yet. Originally I soaked them in hydrogen water, so they're all soaked up. I just rinse them with this water to keep bacteria. Okay, let's go with, you know what? Let me just throw this in there. Let's throw in this walnut crumbs, powder, whatever it is that's left over. And so how do you protect yourself? That's the question. At least that's those are the questions that I ask myself. I mean, maybe nobody else cares, but this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, how do I protect myself from the garbage in the environment, or maybe in our water, maybe what they're spraying on us, all that good stuff. Okay, let's see here. Everybody's saying good morning, buenos dias, good morning, yes. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, I've heard the same about the spraying, yep. And who knows what damage the water is doing to us, yep. Alicia says, I think it's hard to imagine how much of an impact bad quality water can have on our bodies, and we blindly trust our government and companies care for us. Yeah, I completely agree. I've got river in my back garden. Wow, in Bulgaria, the people in the village have always drunk from it, but sadly rubbish is being dumped in the source of the river now. Yeah, that's really what you got. And so, you know what I'm gonna do? Let's do this. Apparently I forgot to soak some raisins, and I'm going to soak them for tomorrow. Might as well do that now, because I could use the raisins today, but I'm like, no, you know what? I probably should just go to the store and buy the raisins and the walnuts. I can't believe I was just there yesterday. Anyway, so I'm gonna soak these for tomorrow in some either clean water or hydrogen water. Of course, I prefer hydrogen water because these sun-dried raisins, awesome. I just love that they're sun-dried and organic. And then I'm gonna really nice water. Nice water. Was it's good for you? I don't know. Brings water to the cold, guys. I think makes everything more bioavailable. Okay. And so, how do you protect yourself? This is really the important question. How in the world are you going to protect yourself from chemicals, potentially in the food, even if you get organic? Now, you can minimize, that's what we try to do. Maybe potentially stuff being sprayed on us, and I mean, do you guys know the answer? You probably know the answer. I'm starting to think that I don't have any new viewers anymore. I'm just getting the regulars. If you guys are the regulars, you probably know by now what I'm going to say. Organic blueberries. Hi, MD. MD has joined us. So again, how do we protect ourselves? Well, one, obviously we clean the water. And in my opinion, having clean water in your system is going to help, because it helps flush out a lot of this stuff. I mean, that's one thing that the body will have to do. By the way, I didn't even think about this. Can you guys hear me? Because the other day I think it was yesterday, I was talking, and you guys couldn't even hear me, so I was kind of like, make sure you guys can hear me a little bit. I got the earpiece. I'm going to put the earpiece on for you guys. I could take it off. We could see how good it works. I'll be walking around, but you could try that. But I'm gonna guess that nobody knows how to do all this stuff that I'm talking about. Because I didn't see any guesses. Let's see here. Let's grab a little bit of celery. And just a little bit of ginger. Let's go ahead and go with. You know what? That'd be nice. Let's go with that. A little ginger today. I'm gonna grab some natto. Why natto? You guys probably know these things by now, right? I'm gonna grab a little bit of beets. How much is left over? Almost nothing. So we grab more beets. Grab some carrots. And why? A lot of fiber. A lot of water in the fiber. Lots of different phytonutrients, all sorts of interesting things. Luckily, it's not still. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go with the ginger first. So still, yeah, let's see here. Will says, is that an apron? Yes, it is an apron. Yeah, I carry this little towel in here, and then I don't get my clothes all stained. But yes, I know it probably looks ridiculous. I have a funny. My little one asked if we can place coconut water into the Lourdes. Yes, I can hear you. LOL, MD, how funny. You wouldn't want to. I would not want to put coconut water in. I mean, you can if you want to break it, if you want to do that. I mean, it might run for a while. Who knows? I've never done it, but I don't think the company recommends it. But you could take hydrogen water and cut it with the coconut water. So you could pour like, let's say 1/4 of a cup of hydrogen water and then fill the rest up with coconut water and drink it down like that. That actually could do some stuff, but it would be as simple as just drinking the hydrogen water first, because when you drink the hydrogen water, I think you guys have seen the live blood analysis, and I shared with you the story of the doctor who basically said it was baloney. They're like, there's no way the hydrogen water is doing that. I was like, that's just impossible. I mean, I'm telling you right now, it's impossible. And that doctor actually did the same study because they just didn't believe it and they wanted to prove me wrong. And all they did was end up becoming a huge proponent of hydrogen water because their tests showed the exact same results, and they became very fascinated by hydrogen and the way that it moves the blood. So if you were to drink it before, I mean, I already drank it, right? So we're on the 8-day challenge. I drank already. I guess I wasn't on camera when I did it because I got my machine, you know, when I wake up in the morning. And so in the mornings, I don't turn on the camera or anything. I'm just waking up and brushing my teeth and whatever. But I drink 1 liter of hydrogen water, and I drink each glass within definitely less than 1 minute. I mean, I'm drinking it maybe sometimes 30 seconds. Sometimes I'll probably do it in 20 seconds. Sometimes I'd probably even do it in less than 10 seconds, but it's definitely less than a minute. I'm trying to get that hydrogen in me. And I drink 1 liter of it, of obviously correctly made hydrogen water that's clean, because I'll tell you right now, if you guys ever want to do this, and I already know people who have, I've known people who use the wrong methods of making hydrogen. I've tried to explain to people, but they really, honestly, they don't listen, and whatever, it's their bodies. But when they actually get their blood tested or get some other type of sample, specifically even their liver, the results were not good. And I've told people there's certain methods, in my opinion, again, these are my opinions, I personally think that if you don't do it the right way, it could be actually detrimental. And you know, it's the same thing with a lot of things. It's the same thing with you know, like did you guys hear about those fluoride filters? I mean, people are buying fluoride filters thinking it's going to be all amazing to filter out fluoride, and the filters were actually toxifying the water even worse. So they're making things worse. This is why I'm very cautious about the products that I pick. As you can see, I don't pick a million products. You know, I know that a lot of influencers try to just, I mean, I'm not trying to like knock them down or anything, but and I get it. They, you know, maybe it's their job, but they just promote too many things, and there's no way they can keep up with everything. I've seen very famous people out there promoting things that I'm like, that's a bad idea. Bad idea. So because what I do, see, the funny thing is that I think about it, I don't think all these people out there, I'm not going to name names, I don't think they actually use everything they promote. The difference with me is that I use everything that I share with you guys, and that I guess you could say promote. You know, I use all this stuff, and you know, I'm doing it for me, and I started sharing it with you guys because I thought it would be helpful. And all I really ended up realizing on this journey is that, man, I learned a lot of things. Like I said, I really think the whole supplement industry is, dare I say, I personally think that it's potentially extremely corrupt. You know, I think that, you know, everybody and their mother wants to start coming up with something, and some people take too many supplements. I mean, I'm a guy of facts. So I remember I knew somebody who had a ton of different supplements, and I looked at all these different health stuff, and I was thinking, okay, what if I tried to be the most healthy person ever? And I'm literally taking pills after, you know, tons of pills every day. And I started thinking about it, I'm like, well, wait a second, that can't be right, because that's going to strain the kidneys. There's no way, because even just a multivitamin, just one pill, you know, a multivitamin, and for people who've ever taken those, and again, that's not the way you get your nutrients, in my opinion. I mean, that would be absolute last resort. I'm showing you guys the best way, which is with food. In my opinion, of course, I personally think, well, there's data though to support that. I mean, I could say in my opinion, but you know, the body responds best to food. Second best is things that are like ionic, which I'm going to show you guys in a little bit. And you know, haven't you ever taken a multivitamin pill and your urine just changes complete color? Your body can't absorb it all. you know, in that particular moment, because fiber is important for absorption. And this is what I'm showing you right now. Look, this is why nature made it this way. It made food this way because this is the best way to do it. And I've seen data. I mean, this, again, I don't just make this stuff up. I figured it out by reading actual data. And so then I was like, well, how am I going to get this amount of nutrition in me with food? Because food is deficient. There's just no way. It's impossible. How am I going to do this? Nobody can do this. Almost everybody's deficient. And some doctor out there will just say, well, just pop a pill, right? Just pop a multivitamin, you're good to go. Not quite. Now you can do that. Would it strain the kidneys? Probably. Is that going to kill you? Probably not. If you do it for 20 years, will it have an impact? Probably. Because see, here's the catch-22. You don't want to be deficient, which almost everybody is, but you also don't want to strain your kidneys trying to not be non-deficient. You know, so it's a tricky catch-22, but what I figured out, at least for me, this is what I personally think, right? And I have had my blood work to prove it to myself, by the way. I didn't have to prove it to anybody else. I mean, I was doing this for me. And then, of course, I started sharing this with you guys, and I don't have this huge channel of millions of people who are like, oh, yeah, this guy's right. Though I will challenge anybody. I got no problem. I'll be like, hey, you want to do a blood challenge? I will gladly put my blood up against anybody out there with whatever beliefs they have. They're like, oh, no, I eat nothing but meat, or I pop nothing but vitamin pills, or I take this product. Okay, we'll do it. We'll do something, you know, and I'd be happy to do it. Even though it could be a pain in the rear, I've already done it, so I already know. And I've actually seen the results of other people's blood work. And yeah. And so, you know, I'm not trying to like be weird about it. I'm just saying this fiber combined, this is kind of cute. Fiber combined, and it's not just the fiber combined with the nutrients. There's so many things in food, from the enzymes, the phytonutrients. Now I am talking about specifically right now about like most fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds. But these are important. They're important to how it all works. And somehow Mother Nature knew better. You know, Mother Nature knew better. What a surprise. What a shocker. You know, because for me, when I was looking for my way out of hell, as far as my like certain medical issues, I did look to nature. I did trust in nature. It doesn't mean that it's like, oh, well, just everything in nature is fine then. No, but I definitely look to nature for answers, because let me tell you, nature, it's a miracle. It's a miracle in action. It's a miracle in motion. If you really, really break it down and look at what nature does, it's unbelievable. I mean, truly unbelievable. It's right in front of us all the time. So I studied nature. In fact, that's how I figured out how to clean water. I don't know if you guys know that. Yeah, I read data, but I also looked at, I'm going to put some either clean water or hydrogen water in this. I studied the way that nature cleaned water, because I thought, well, heck, nature must clean water somehow, and that's what we call the hydrologic system. That's how it does it. And then I thought, well, wait a second, can I mimic that? And it's very similar to distillation. And so then I started reading the data on it, and voila, I found my answer. I found the cleanest water ever. And of course, that's how I found my purewater.com also. But see, when I research things, it leads me to places. And there are good companies out there. And by the way, this is the natto, which is a fermented bean. And of course, see, look at all these garbage ingredients that are in here. And you're like, well, geez, this is garbage. You know, it's got sugar, and it's got more sugar, and it's got, God, all sorts of crazy names that I can't even pronounce and whatever, right? And actually, and no vitamin D. I always tell you guys, foods don't really tend to have vitamin D. You can never rely on food for vitamin D. I will show you what we're going to do to rectify that, and why we make the smoothie this way. There's a reason. There's a reason to my madness, okay? And it's not even like that maddening. It's not that crazy. But see, this is the natto. And the ingredients that are on that label are this little piece of crap. In my opinion, this is garbage, okay? This is where all the sugar is. This is all the garbage, not in the beans. This goes in the garbage. You can't see it, but I'm dropping it in the garbage. This is just mustard. It's a special type of mustard. It's a Japanese mustard. I do keep that because I use it once in a while for other things. So then what I ultimately keep is the raw material. And that's what you're going to find with the way that I, you know, tend to do things. What you're going to find is, you're going to find that I'm all about, quote unquote, the food. And what I mean by the food is Notice if you were to look at the ingredients for everything that I'm putting in here, and I could grab them. I mean, you just saw them. So if I had to grab the blueberries again, what does the bag say on ingredients? It says organic blueberries, that's it. If I grab the bag that had the beets, it just says organic beets. Here's another example. We're gonna put celery in a second, and it must say it on here. Ingredients, organic celery, that's it. So I try to use very basic things. I say basic because there's much more to it, but let's activate the natto. A lot of people don't know that you have to activate this. And the way that you activate it is by stirring it, and you stir it 100 times. It really gets the good bacteria going. It begins to oxygenate, activate. The science shows that you at least want to stir it 100 times. In fact, while I stir it, let me just read some of your comments, I guess, and I can answer some of your questions if you guys are asking, because it looks like you probably are. Boy, you guys did make a lot of comments. Wow, holy cow. Jeez. Okay. I would rather not ruin the device. It is my precious. Me too, MD. I would not want to ruin it either. How is it affecting you? My head hurts when I drink a lot of water. That is strange. No regular temperature. Don't know why. Okay. MD says, Terry, I am a lot more hydrated. That is one thing that I definitely have seen. And that's actually I got a really interesting story about my mother I could maybe share if you guys want. I think that the hydrogen distilled water kicked me into a low state of detox. Yeah, there is some data that's suggesting that hydrogen does detox, which was minutely uncomfortable but more energizing for certain. Interesting. I actually have I've been getting some really great testimonials lately. I need to make the videos. The lives are great because we learn something new from you each time, says Terry. That's interesting even. Okay, my father-in-law is a chronic supplement pill popper. He suffers from the worst flatulence that I have ever come across. See, you can't take too many, guys. Have you noticed that I've been what my goal was always to make it as simple as possible. Do you use tap water to rinse? I've been using distilled to rinse fruits and veggies. It just depends, but you know, even if I use quote unquote, and it probably depends on the quality of your tap water. Each area has different water also. I use sometimes, it just depends. I use a combination. Sometimes I'll use RO, sometimes I got my carbon distilled. Sometimes I will use tap water for certain things. Yeah, it just depends. And it depends where I'm living. Yes, trust the Mother Earth. Okay, MD says, what is your stance on the whole EDTA chelation that blood docs are suggesting people are in need of due to the state of the medical community? EDTA chelation. I don't know. That's a little vague. I need to know what you're talking about because some people are talking about there's these certain products. I'll give you one example. There was supposed to be this product to chelate metals, heavy metals. And then I saw the lab report on the product. The product itself had heavy metals. And it was just crap, you know, and there's just too much of that going on these days. That's what I get really upset about because I'm not in this thinking, okay, let's figure out another new supplement to sell. I'm thinking to myself, how do I want to make myself healthy? And then I share that with you guys. And, you know, and there's just too much in this world. I feel like it's just so filled with corruption. And, you know, I personally think that it's all filled with corruption and garbage and it's so hard to sift through it all and find that little diamond in the rough, you know. And there are things, I mean, obviously the My Pure Water thing, it definitely is cleaning my water. The hydrogen machine, I'm very grateful for the guy who basically built that thing. I don't know if you guys know his story, but it's pretty amazing. And I'm very grateful for the organic farmers who go out of their way to try to grow food organically. This stuff's starting to foam up, as you can see, and it's activated. And obviously this has vitamin K, which is extremely good for you. It has a really good enzyme called nattokinase or nattokinase. It also has actually really good fiber, lots of protein. Potentially, I don't want to say too much, but I've read that you don't want to eat more than maybe 4 of these packets a day. It could strain the kidneys, just too much protein. And that's one thing about protein. People are always like, oh, I'm on a protein, nothing. I'm on an all protein diet. All I eat is meat. And it's like, might want to look at the long-term data, not the short-term data, but the long-term data on how that affects the kidneys. And so, you know, ooh, look at these bananas. Holy cow, I got some beautiful bananas. Oh, so I think I might only put one of them in there because And you know what? I'd like to put 2. It's not going to be very sweet today if I only put 1, but that's okay. I used to only put 1 anyway. And I got used to putting 2 lately. And so once you get used to it, you're like, ooh, I kind of like that little flavor. But you know what? It's going to be fine. And so you just really have to figure it all out. And my goal is to take the minimum amount of stuff to just maintain and get all of my my nutrients. Okay, let's keep going. Blah, blah, blah. Where are we at? We'll talk about the ETA, or you're talking about the amino acid. Okay, MD, got my call from Pure Water this morning. My machine is ready and on its way. Hey, good for you. Sunshine says, I've got to pay my taxes before getting a distiller from my Pure Water. We are using lower priced charcoal distiller until then. Yeah, I mean, the lower end ones are not the worst. We are a talkative bunch. I do worry I talk too much on here. The amino acid typically administered through IV. I just don't think it'd be totally necessary, personally, because look, this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. I mean, they're always going to try to come up with some new thing, and it's like, hey, let's do this, let's do that. You have to find something, in my opinion. Now, Grant, this is what I personally think. I'm putting obviously my hydrogen chia seeds in here, and in my opinion, why do I feel like I'm missing something? You guys remind me. Am I forgetting something? Oh, it's probably because I don't have the walnuts, and it's probably because I didn't put the broccoli sprouts. Here's the thing. If you really, really want to chelate the stuff out of your body, in my opinion, I actually think that there's 3 things that are extremely important. Because you want to do something, you don't want to be having to go to a clinic and getting IVs all the time. You need to find something that you can do on the daily, that's part of your routine, that's affordable. Unless you're rich and you just want to go do all this crazy stuff all the time, that's fine. But what I've tried to figure out is a routine that I can live with. And do you think these Japanese people who live, 100 and something years are doing that? No. I've seen, it's all about the food, guys. And the biggest thing, in my opinion, just my opinion, for getting all this crap out of our body, 1 is clean water. That's the first one. Second, you add hydrogen to it, you pretty much supercharge your water, but you want clean water, and then you supercharge it. So now you're really doing some good stuff. But also, fiber. Let me tell you something. I don't think people talk about it enough. And just watch. Some new supplement's gonna come out, and they're gonna be like, oh, this is a magical fiber. It's a special fiber. And it's only $100 for this little bottle of special fiber pills. Like, look, I can just go buy the fruits and vegetables, and I believe that the fruits and vegetables are going to be better. Okay, that's just my opinion. The food is so magical. I mean, when I say magical, it's straight up magical. I'll tell you, if they could patent food and be like, hey, look at this. We made this amazing little green stick. We call it celery. You know how good this is for you, and you're buying it as a supplement when you can just go to the store and just buy it already. That's why I like the organic aspect of it, because I feel like it really takes away from it when you start getting chemicals in the food. So I'm very grateful for organic farmers. I don't need all these special things, these special products. Food is the magic. And we just don't eat right, and I get it. I know everybody's busy. I know that junk food or processed food is either more convenient or tastes better or whatever. But this is my personal opinion. This is why I make this smoothie. And the fiber, I told you guys before, less than 3% of Americans get the minimum amount of required fiber by the body. It's ridiculous is what it is. And look, that's fine, right? That's what people choose to do. That's what people choose to do. So sometimes I'm not even sure they're really choosing it. They just don't know any better. And no, donuts and breads and all those things are not fiber. I'm talking about fiber filled with water, phytonutrients, antioxidants, and even have certain anti-parasitic properties. A lot of them. Now, this is the stuff that will pull the crap out of your body. Like I said, clean water, lots of fiber, and hydrogen. That's just my opinion. That's what I personally think. And it was funny. I had my blood work done, and so did somebody that I know recently. Now, this particular person lives a very healthy lifestyle. They exercise. They live in a really nice place with sunshine and clean air. Drinks a lot of water. He doesn't drink the water that I recommend, of course. But he usually gets either bottled water, or just has like a basic filter. And he definitely doesn't eat smoothies like these. Though he does do some smoothies, but they're nothing like these. If you just say the word smoothie, it's not really fair, because what I'm making here is not the norm. I don't know if you guys realize that. I'm sure maybe you do, maybe you don't. People are like, oh, I drink smoothies. Have you guys seen that YouTube video with Arnold Schwarzenegger showing his smoothie? It's my smoothie. And I'm thinking like, dude, that's not the smoothie. You know, that thing's pathetic. Pathetic smoothie. You know, actually, I can't really do a very good Arnold impression. But anyway, you know, it's, you know, for me, it's, I don't want to say it's pathetic, but I mean, it's like comparing a, you know, friggin' Dodge Demon or Ferrari or something to like a Toyota Corolla or a Ford Fiesta or something. You know, it's just, there's no contest. This thing is full of fiber, full of antioxidants, full of phytonutrients, full of, you know, full of stuff that if they could supplement it, they would try, but you can never do what food really does. I mean, there are a few things out there, actually. There are a few things, and if anything, they're just food anyway. The Japanese have these really special, what was it? I believe they were a certain type of special enzymes, but ultimately they were made from food. They were made up in the mountains. You should see, I should probably do a video about that company sometime. Their stuff is so special. And see, this is what I love about the Japanese. They're not doing it for the money. I mean, obviously it's a business and they have to continue to make money, but they wanted to go after it and make the best like product ever. And it's actually just food. They come in these tiny little gold packets. I've made videos in the past. I think you guys could probably find that video somewhere. And it's so hard to get their hands on their product. Their product is limited. So you literally, a lot of people join a membership just to be able to get their hands on it, because otherwise you just can't get it. There's only so much that they can make. And it's condensed food in these tiny little packets. And it tastes like food, just like the Purium powder, but it's super strong, powerful enzymes. And those things will go through your body and like really clean up the blood actually. But fiber every day, lots of hydrogen water every day that's obviously clean. In my opinion, that's what you need to shillake stuff out of you. So, you know, if you want to try to buy a product, if you want to go and, you know, stick an IV in you, you can do that. And I'm not saying that I'm not going to say it's good or bad or whatever. I just don't think it's realistic. If you want to do it for your birthday or some special day like that, that's cool. Okay, let me put some clean water, hydrogen water here. And again, I'm not saying that it's no good, because I remember there's an old woman I knew, very sweet. I get a little shout out, actually. She was a wonderful, sweet old woman who I remember in Japan went to a special clinic where they took her blood and they would take it out of her body and they would filter out her blood, like really, really clean it up. And then they would put it back in. And they did this process, and you know, she did it for quite a few days and many hours. And she said she felt so good. And she's like, I felt energized. My body felt really, really warm. She had a really great experience. Okay, let's add, as we know, food is deficient in a lot of things. Even though it's food and it's magical, we're not growing it right. And one of these days, I'm gonna release this idea to the world where I believe we can grow food that the world's never seen. It's gonna change the world, but you know, I don't have the connections or the funding right now for that. But I'm gonna put minerals in here right now. One of these days we'll have, like I said, we will have, if you really were to grow food the way that it was intended, in my opinion, when they speak of the Garden of Eden, you know, it was a garden, right? It wasn't the slaughter of Eden. It was a garden, which most likely means fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, beans, potatoes, you know, all these type of things. Food. And I think that food used to be straight up magical in a way that, we haven't seen it for thousands of years, so we don't even know it exists. Let's go ahead and fire this up. second. Let things settle down for a second. Here's the jar. Here's the jar. There we go. Here's the lids I was looking for. This is my little lid. That's how I know this is mine. The Amanita muscaria. Okay, so I'm going to cut these with a little hydrogen water or clean water. Pour this, but I'm going to blend it one more time, and meanwhile I'm going to shake the magic ingredients that I'm going to put in here, and we'll go into why we're putting this in there. I'm going to guess that it's well enough, but I'm going to set it one more time just see if I hear anything chop up here. I don't know, sounds pretty good. Okay, let's try. If there's chunks, back in the blender you go. Okay, so I'm going to pour it halfway. Why? Why only halfway? Well, that way I don't need a stick to mix it all up, and I'll show you how I do that. Halfway, and of course, tastes really great, but I can notice it's not quite as sweet, but I'm good with that. Ionic zinc. If you're going to use something, food's best, second best, ionic. And this stuff is pretty much out, which is good. I've been trying to finish it. I get more than enough zinc in my diet. I've been looking at the ingredients and the nutrient levels, so I'm definitely getting enough zinc. So I'm going to just splash it. You know what? That's enough for today. I'll splash the rest of it in tomorrow. It's pretty much done though. Okay, let's go with. This is one of my favorite ones because I love what it does to the body, but it's so almost impossible to get it in your food. And that is ionic, because it's the second best. Best would be food, but the food that has D3 in it is not food that I really consume very often because I literally saw somebody's blood work have issues trying to consume the food that has D3. And I guess I could go into that. It was one of the people I told you who was eating healthy, drinking lots of water, this whole deal, and he tested for a lot of heavy metals. D3 with K2, and that's because he eats a lot of seafood. He wasn't testing like that before, and he started eating, he thought he was trying to be healthy by eating more fish and whatnot, and all it did was, you know, you have to know your environment these days, guys. I'm telling you, something's crazy's going on, and the world is just absolute wreck, and you just have to do what you can to survive, you know, and keep the body healthy. Seems like everybody's sick these days. Okay, boron. Boron, obviously, ionic again. You don't have to do this one. It's in a lot of stuff I do too, but I'm doing a little experiment trying it out, and I'm liking it. There's a lot of good data on it, actually. I'm very impressed by the data on boron. Really good for the muscles, really good for the ligaments, really good for sex hormones for both men and women, testosterone, estrogen, really good just for the brain, you know. So good stuff, bones, all that good stuff. Chlorophyll, this one I wouldn't normally add, but you know, the company sent this to me and I was like, hey, I appreciate it and I'll try it. And you know what? I've been liking it more than I thought I would. I did read about it. Obviously there's really wonderful benefits, but you know, you're gonna get this stuff from, you know, I'm just gonna put an extra drop today. Just, I don't know why, just because I always put 5, I put 6. Because I already get a lot of greens. And obviously just look at this smoothie, but hey, make it a powerhouse. It smells good too. It's got like peppermint or something. Okay, and this is why I only poured halfway, because now I get to pour it the other half and it just mixes everything in there real nicely, real nice-like. And this, to me, is the ultimate multi-nutrient from food or ionic forms hydrogen smoothie. That's just my opinion. All organic. I can make these, I time myself. I can do it in 20 minutes if I'm not making videos or whatever. I just get up and do it. Boom, 20 minutes. This one's gonna be drinking. Put it away for just a moment. I got you. I got that song right there. show you this. I've been trying this and I'm actually pretty impressed. Apothecary. This is also from Purium. This stuff is awesome. Really been enjoying it. Just started though because it's so concentrated. And sometimes I forget to drink it though because I have it in the fridge. But I'm going to drink this tonight again. They say that at nighttime is better just because it seems to help with sleep. And you know, I get good sleep, but I'm trying to work on it. I'm like, you know what can I do better? And then let's see, last ingredient. Now the last ingredient, which I've been using off and on for quite a few years, but mostly on, I gotta say is very impressive, guys. We're talking about cannabis. Nah, it's hemp. I don't know, cannabis, hemp, I don't know. Same thing, I don't know. Probably not. Hemp hearts, not only is it the most well-balanced omegas in the world, which is important for the omegas to be balanced, the nutrients in this sucker, I mean, it is so impressive. I mean, from calcium and iron and potassium and vitamin E. And remember, this is from a food source. Thiamine, niacin, B6, folate, magnesium, zinc. And you know, and then there's supplements out there be like, oh, you can get zinc from this. Or you can get magnesium. That's a really big one. And you know, I've seen a lot of magnesium supplements that are, in my opinion, I personally think, and because I saw the lab results, they're terrible. The stuff that's in them is unbelievable. And, you know, I'm going to leave this out because I might actually want more. And so that's why I like to get it from my food. It's like, forget that. I'm just going to get it from food instead of some pill that some guy put together. Good stuff. Okay. Let's take this earpiece out. And I'll read your guys' comments and answer maybe some of your questions. Because I've been yapping here and I'm sure you guys have something you're probably saying. I don't know what it was. I got you. And see, I don't even know if you can hear my distiller running. Somebody was asking, was that thing noisy? And I was like, I don't think it's that noisy. I mean, it's running right now, right next to us. And here's the last magic ingredient. This really brings it all together, just like water. Inhale some hydrogen. Oops. Put this on too soon. I don't know if I should leave my bib on basically here, but I guess I'll take it off this time. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Probably should plug in my phone. It's probably about to die. Okay. Oh yeah, you guys said a lot. Ah, boy. Okay. Let's see here. Northern Yeti says, nah, we like you, Terry. Let's see here. Sunshine says, during this challenge, you are drinking a liter of hydrogen water in the morning, right? That's right. So 1 liter in the morning, empty stomach. Make sure to clean your mouth first, but don't use toothpaste, just use a toothbrush. And the inner surfaces of your mouth, the inner lining of the cheeks, the roof, the tongue, should only take about 20 seconds. And that's when I make the smoothie. So if you can just for this particular challenge, if you can just drink the water and then make the smoothie and just have that and live the rest of your day the way you want to, that is a challenge. Terry says, it's funny you say about protein in the kidneys because my renal dietitian told me not to become a vegetarian because of lack of protein. Like I said, you're gonna go to all these different doctors. Everybody's gonna tell you something different. And in my opinion, you should really read and do your own research. And that's how I created my own protocols based on data instead of what people say. I've known so many doctors that you're paying and get bad information, in my opinion, okay? MD, the reasoning that they give is it scrubs out the junk found and due to recent events. I know what you're talking about. That's the reason that I put natto in here. It's also the reason I drink a lot of hydrogen water. I know that there's a lot of claims out there, so you gotta be careful. I'm not making any, but I get what you're saying, MD. Thank Yeti. That's nice of you. Northern Yeti says, you're welcome, Terry. They already have one, Greg, called Sun Fiber. Yeah, but they're gonna come out with something new. No, this is the real fiber. There's so many fiber products. They often try to patent food. Yeah, I feel you guys. And food's always gonna be the best. Sunshine, I've got to add beets. You don't have to add anything, just so you know. You don't have to make the smoothie exactly how I do. Do you think the beets are also magical for your blood health? You better believe it. In fact, here, you guys want to do this? Let's do this. Like I said, you take one fruit or vegetable and you can find amazing things out about it. Now, let's go ahead and just take this as an example. Let's go to health benefits of beets. Now, I know that they get the body to produce nitric oxide, not nitrous oxide, but nitric oxide, which is really, really good. It's a good thing. Really helps with opening the blood vessels and, you know. Let me tell you, the blood movement is so important. Okay, let's see here. Let's see what we can find about beets. Well, for one, again, they're extremely rich in phytonutrients. I've been obviously telling you guys that. The ones that they want to name off, which I don't know if it does much for us, but betaninins and vulgaxanthin and other antioxidants and anti-inflammatory and detoxifying properties. See, I'm telling you, food is what you're gonna need to use. Recent, and I'm just reading this off Global Health or whatever, recent laboratory studies on human tumor cells from the colon, stomach, lung, breast, prostate, and testicles have shown that betanin, which is also considered a pigment, as it gives the red color to the beets, and see, that's what I was talking about colors before, it's so awesome, play a role in inhibiting pro-inflammatory enzymes. Let's see. These are small but reliable steps towards future research into the importance of betanin in prevention and even treatment for cancer. Now it says to avoid damage to the betanin by various cooking processes, it is recommended that the beetroot be steamed for less than 15 minutes. And if you're cooking, it should be done under an hour. Now, obviously I put them in there raw. Now, if you want to hear more about beets, they're an excellent source of folate, magnesium, potassium, copper, dietary fiber, more they also have not just magnesium, but something called manganesium, phosphorus, vitamin C, iron, B6. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, it's so awesome, right? Okay, let's see. What are other benefits? The root and leaves, did you guys notice I put the leaves in the smoothie, are actually used as a medicine. Wow, what a surprise. But they really are especially high in something called I can't even pronounce the things, beta-lane, or what they call beta-cyanins. And then they have all the sources from all these cancer, biomarker, blah, 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 like all these different articles. And that's actually didn't even say all the benefits. Let me go see if I can find more. Beets and benefits. Wow, even the American Cancer Institute got involved in this. Drink your beets. Okay, we're talking about evidence-based. This is what I mean when I'm talking about do some research, read the data, don't go off what people, tell you. Let's see here. I'm trying to find just some simple stuff without getting too scientific and boring. I don't know if I'm beating a dead horse here, or if you guys really want to know this. From food to fuel. And if anything, this is what I probably told you about. It gets converted it first has to be converted into nitric oxide, a gas with numerous physiological roles. I'm telling you guys, there's a reason that I have the hydrogen first. And by the way, there's data even on hydrogen with nitric oxide. And it causes the blood vessel dilation, muscle contraction, and the transmission of nerve signals, among other things. People obtain nitric oxide in, there's different ways. There's certain enzymatic processes. Let's see here. And obviously from food, which is what I'm talking to you about right now. And they have certain lists of food, and it's primarily beets and beet leaves and some other greens here. I think spinach. Let's see here. I mean, if I'm going too far, you guys can be like, okay. Let's see. Over the next several hours, some of the food, nitric oxide in the gut, enters the blood, bodily tissues. And this is why I like to use the hydrogen, because hydrogen appears to open up the ghost vessels. And then you use the beets and other things in here that produce nitric oxide to and really open the blood vessels up. And then the blood moves with all the nutrients in the blood. That's why I like to use the Purium powder. See, I'm not doing this by accident. I mean, there's a reason that I'm doing it the way that I do it. It also appears to relax blood vessels, improves blood flow and oxygen consumption, boosts mitochondrial production and respiration, enhances glucose uptake into the muscles, enhances muscle contraction and relaxation. Did you know they actually use it for athletes? Athletes use this stuff. See, the athletes are the guys who really get the good stuff. Gotta say, I was getting all the good stuff. Scientists know, they know about this. The enhancements under specific conditions, even with acid buildup in the muscles, and what really happens to the skeletal muscles when it contracts constantly doing exercise, and the backup system to ensure enough nitric oxide, blah, 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 blah. I could go on. Literally, this thing just goes on and on about blood flow, oxygenation. Did I go enough into the beets? And that's just beets. That's just beets. You guys want me to read about celery? You want me to read about spinach? Do you want me to read about flax seeds? Like, what do you guys want to talk about next? Because I'm telling you, all this stuff, Okay, let's see. Let me start. Continue to finish what you guys, what you guys were talking about. Okay. So Sunshine says, so I have to add beets. You don't have to, but in my opinion, they're straight up magical. And there's another reason that I inhaled the hydrogen too, because look, I'm aware of oxalates. I also know how many you'd have to take for it to really do some damage. But one of the things to protect yourself is proper nutrient levels. I think it's vitamin C, but a lot of water. Flush things out, of the system. And in my opinion, I think you'll be fine. I've been doing this for a very long time. Okay, MD says, sorry, Greg. I asked in the previous stream, but I had to leave. Have you ever used a natto enzyme to make your own? I am not in a location that has access to international district foods. I don't make my own natto. I don't make up my own a lot of stuff. I make my own koji and stuff, but the reason I don't is because if I start making my own stuff, which I have in the past, way too time consuming, I can't even work. It became my whole job when I was sick, and it was just ridiculous. I couldn't do it, so I don't do it. But yeah, you can order online. I'm sure you can watch, videos on how to make it. I'm sure there's videos out there. Terry, is there a trusted brand out there that we trust online more than others? Actually, MD, there is going to be a trusted source coming up soon. I'll let you know about that because somebody was talking to me about it. I'm not supposed to say anything, but stay tuned. Terry says, but Greg Ways says make sure that it's made in Japan. Yeah, Japan and organic. Even if it's just Japanese, they tend to spray very little on their stuff. MD says, if the community has an opinion and has made their own. I'm willing to take their opinions. Sunshine says, is Ionic better than Colloidal, or are they comparable? I prefer Ionic. MD says, Greg, what is the supplement company that you are adding to the smoothie? The website's called ishoppurium.com. Somebody wants to type it in there for them. And if you want a $50 code, you can use Uprising144K, and it helps support the channel a little bit, so it's a win-win. Viviana Marmanillo, interesting name, says, buenas noches, por favor, ¿dónde se puede comprar esta máquina? Puedes ir a un sitio que se llama www.holyhydrogen.com. If somebody wants to type in holyhydrogen.com for Viviana, she's asking. Y ahí puedes mirar la máquina de hidrógeno, la que estoy respirando ahorita. MD says also, do you have a list of the ingredients that are contained in your smoothies? No, brother. I'm realizing that I have been leaving a number of them out. Well, I just made the video. Wouldn't that be the list of stuff? And by the way, I have many different videos where I add just a few little different things. Sometimes I used to put raw cacao powder. Sometimes I put coconut cream. Sometimes I put different types of nuts. Yeah, I just, but I always have the basics. The basics are typically the greens, the carrots, the celery, the beets. But yeah, it's all in the video, brother. I mean, do you want me to write it down for you? I can write it down for you, I guess. Is there any value in a used machine, or would you recommend new only? Land of the blinded, honestly, after everything I've seen, I would go new. Because you never know what somebody's done with their machine. People have dropped water damage. I know somebody who recently bought one and they said they got screwed and they couldn't return it. And they just were out the money. You get no warranty, no customer service. You don't even know if it's an authentic machine. Sometimes you don't get all the parts that go with it. I would get a new one. I mean, that's just what I would do. And you're getting the real deal. And they come with like a special certificate. So here's another thing. Every single machine is lab tested and certified, which nobody does. It's completely insanity. I can't believe they do that. I love that they do it though. And with a used one, I just don't know what people do to their stuff. I'm telling you, you know the amount of emails I've gotten from people who've damaged their machines for just random things. How long do they generally last, the hydrogen machine? A long time. And see, most hydrogen machines break. They're inherently unreliable because you're using metal, just the way that they're made. I won't go into the details of it. So what I can tell you is this. I know that the Japanese like to make really reliable stuff, kind of like Toyotas. And one of the things that they do is they actually use, they do stress tests and they look for weak points. And apparently this company did the same thing. It's just like a Japanese thing that a lot of places just don't do. And they torture tested it they wanted to see 1 year, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. By the time it reached 7 years, they said, there's no weak points. The machine clearly works really, really well. And that was that. And so they don't even know exactly how long they may last, but they're gonna last a long time. I mean, it's actually, I've calculated, it's the cheapest way of making hydrogen in the long term. And of course you get the best water and cleanest gas in my opinion. Okay, Will says apron off now. Okay, I don't know why you'd care about my apron, but okay, it's cool. Okay, Sunshine says, I actually love beets. Me too. I don't actually like them cooked as much. I know a lot of people do. They're okay, but I like them raw. But I don't like to just eat them raw like an apple. I like them in the smoothie. They give flavor, color. Sunshine says, I just need my husband to hear you say that. To hear me say what? That it opens up blood vessels? And the nitric oxide? Wow, beets are really good. Beets to beat every disease, or how to beat disease. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, look, they're magical. But look, let me do this again. Let's do, I don't know, we could pick anything. But let's go with, you guys could even ask, but let's go with health benefits of ginger. I put ginger in there every day. You guys want to hear about ginger? Okay, 10 surprising health benefits of ginger. Let's see here. This is what I mean, guys. You take almost any fruit and vegetable. I say almost, do a little research. But 1, reduces the risk of cancer development. Wow. It is actually known. So back to nitrous oxide is a compound commonly formed in the body. Let's see. That's nitrous, actually. They're talking about nitrous oxide, not nitric oxide, my bad. So it says nitrous oxide. That can increase the risk of cancer development. Nitrous, not nitric. However, ginger prevents the formation of the compound, thus reducing the risk of genetic material interruption. So that's interesting. It's interesting how nitrous or nitric, they're kind of different. Improves kidney health. Your kidneys actually benefit from the antioxidant capability of ginger. Did you know that your kidneys filter 150 quarts of blood a day? It's a lot of blood. Now imagine if the blood was carrying toxins. See, this is why I like to have a good amount of water. The hydrogen is the part, by the way, that protects you that I never did say. I was waiting for you guys to guess it. You never did. That's a lot of toxins in your kidneys to come in contact with daily. Ginger decreases the number of particles in your blood that may be harmful, thus preventing kidneys from basically being overloaded or come in contact with them. It inhibits the rhinovirus. Now that's interesting. Reduces gas and GI distress. So nice for the stomach. Maybe that's why they always have you drink like ginger when your stomach is doing something. They use it for treatment for migraines and headaches. Did you know that? I won't go into why though. I'm just going to read the benefits because if we go into each one. Decreases joint pain. It appears to help also with, inflammation. Alleviates nausea. I think we've all heard about that one. Reduces systemic inflammation. It has now this is actually used in Japan for cancer, believe it or not. Warming effect that stimulates increased circulation. Again, back to the blood circulation. Think about this. And this is why I do it, by the way. Drink the hydrogen water, which moves the blood like crazy. Put a bunch of ingredients in this that causes the blood vessels to really open up with that nitric oxide. And then a lot of these things, I mean, when you're combining them already with all the nutrients, and combining with the hydrogen, which is why I'm inhaling it also while I drink it, and this warming effect, which it has to do with, moving the blood, but it says it actually increases circulation and allows quicker oxygen delivery to the muscles. I mean, look, I'm telling you, if I had an athlete and put him on my protocols, I think I could do some amazing stuff. And so quicker oxygen delivery to the muscles, tissues, and organs, which ensure their proper function. Increased circulation is also improved with a better immune system. And last one on the list, lowers blood sugar and cholesterol levels. Could even help prevent buildup of plaque on the arteries. This is same thing with hydrogen water, by the way. So I combine all these things. Now that's just ginger. So we put a little bit of ginger, I don't know, what other one? You guys want to look at anything else? I mean, we could do this all day long on every ingredient I put in here. Terry C says, yeah, ginger. MD says, thanks for the premium link and code. I will get them incorporated soon enough. Yeah, man, go for it. I mean, if I were to just look up some basic stuff about celery, supports, well, they have to say this, top 5 benefits. Okay, we're not gonna go into all of them because again, there's so many, right? Top 5. That's funny, they say, what is celery? Okay, and then they go into the nutrients of it, which is deceiving sometimes in my opinion. I mean, it actually shows protein. It even has fat, believe it or not, fiber, potassium, carbohydrate. People are like, oh, it's bad, it's got carbohydrates. That's not how I look at things. It appears to support heart health, may support digestive function, anti-inflammatory, improve memory, may improve blood sugar management. If you notice, that's a really big theme for me. You need to support the proper levels of blood sugar. You don't want too much spikes. And that's why I invented this too, because in Japan, they found consuming vegetables first thing in the morning helps regulate blood glucose. I don't know. Anything else? You know what? Here's one. Let's do this one because I always put it in there and I don't feel like everybody understands why I do this. Health benefits of flax seed. Flax seeds, not flaxseed oil. Remember, I prefer to do, let me get more smoothie. Hold on a second. Wow, that's a lot of smoothie. And you know what? I know that I'm getting enough nutrients, but I just like the flavor. I can add more of this. Okay, oh man, should I go into the health benefits of hemp hearts? Maybe that one we should look up. We should look up the health benefit. I mean, again, every single thing I'm putting in here, guys, every single day for breakfast. Is it that complicated to drink some clean hydrogen water and make a smoothie every day? It's gonna take, 40 minutes of your time. Is it worth waking up 40 minutes early? You better believe it is, at least in my opinion. Okay, flax seeds. Let's just go with something basic. Let's just see here. It says absolutely loaded with nutrients. Flaxseed is one of the world's oldest crops. See, I didn't know that. And there's a few different types. There's like brown and gold and different kinds of flax seeds. Provides, let's see here, just one serving provides actually a lot of protein. See, people always ask me about protein. I'm like, guys, I'm getting enough protein. Omega-3s, obviously, several vitamins and minerals. Okay, I won't go into, it's got copper in it, magnesium, phosphorus, selenium, zinc, B6, iron. I mean, gosh, all the food I eat has just all this great stuff. Flaxseed is particularly high, though, in thiamine, a B vitamin, that plays a key role in energy metabolism as well as cellular function. It is also a great source for copper. People are always wanting, that's a big thing right now too. Get a copper supplement. Why? Why? Just eat some food already. Make a smoothie. Stop buying these stupid supplements. I'm so sorry. This is why companies hate me, by the way, because, I'm not into just a bunch of different products. They want you buying this stuff forever. Just my opinion. That's what I personally think. Maybe it's fantastic. I'm just an idiot. Who knows? So a great source of fiber, which is involved in brain development, immune health, and iron metabolism, blah, blah, blah. But it is also a good source. It even has fiber, but the big one is copper. Very high in omega-3 fatty acids. I won't go what that's important for. It appears that it may help protect against cancer. Another one, see if you notice this pattern, all these things that I tend to do are anti-parasitic, anti-inflammatory, protect against cancer, and have all these nutrients. I mean, and look, I just make a smoothie. Is it complicated? Let's see here. Flax seeds is rich in lignans. I don't know what that is, which is a plant, and tell us what it is. It's a plant compound. See, plants are so complicated, guys. This is why they're so amazing, though. That have been studied for their potent cancer-fighting properties. Actually, that's why I started putting them in there. I remember reading something. They did a study specifically on breast cancer. Really awesome results. And it says, interestingly, the seed boasts 75 to 800 times more lignans than other plant food. Some studies have actually shown, see, this is actually the study that I read. They showed that there was an association between the consumption of flaxseed intake and a much lower risk of breast cancer. I actually saw one where they actually were almost not treating like they're gonna get rid of breast cancer, but it was having a positive impact, particularly in postmenopausal women. They've also done studies on flax seeds on animals against colorectal cancer, skin cancer, blood cancer, lung cancer. Guys, good stuff, right? And that's just flax seeds. Okay. It's also rich in fiber. We know the magic of that. I won't go into all that. And it appears that it could lower cholesterol levels. Hydrogen does that too, as far as I've seen. Again, I'm not making any claims. May reduce blood pressure, because there were some studies. May stabilize blood sugar. I'm telling you, to stabilize your blood sugar is extremely important. I cannot emphasize it enough. May help manage your weight. What a surprise. Versatile and easy to use. Yep. You can just, some people, they're like, oh, you can just sprinkle it on your yogurt. This guy puts it in a smoothie with the nitric oxide, drinking the hydrogen water. I mean, see, this is why I do what I do. Okay, guys, anything else? Let me see here. Am I just talking to myself? I feel like I'm just talking to myself. Let's see here. Okay. Celery. I think I already talked about celery. MD says, no need for a list. I need to add hemp hearts, chia seeds. Oh, yeah. Let me look up the stuff on chia seeds and Purium. I've been supplementing with Health Force superfoods. Not a huge fan of Health Force. But it's fine. Vitamin Mineral Greens and Capra Minerals weigh the other ingredients. Yeah. Okay. Sunshine says, husband, eating celery, carrots, red and orange, pepper, cucumbers, curcumin, turmeric, almond milk. If you do almond milk, make sure that they are not adding sugar to it. Get the unsweetened kind. And make sure it's organic. They spray the hell out of almonds. Black seed oil, 32 to 64 ounces of carrot juice a day, a liter or more of hydrogen water. I would definitely do more than a liter if you're doing it for a specific reason. And raw greens daily. Sounds good though, Sunshine. Terry C, but no beets yet, Sunshine. Sunshine says, gotta get my husband to add beets and put it in smoothies. Oh yeah, apple, banana, and orange daily as well. Good for you. Imagine if you live your whole life like that. Northern Yeti, you might want to lower that carrot juice, Sunshine. Carotene is a real thing. Or I'm sorry, keratonemia is a real thing. Yeah, I would agree. Be cautious. Drink a lot of water. And beta carotene can convert to retinol, which could be bad. Just something to look into. Yeah, I would suggest reading a little bit into that. Your smoothie's got to be the best. Okay, Northern Yeti, thanks. So let's see here. Let's go with, I mean, just because, you know, since we're on this kick today, health benefits of, let's go with chia seeds. Because I soak them in water, put them in there all the time. 3 reasons to add chia seeds to everything you eat. And let me tell you, I use the crap out of chia seeds. But let's see what it says. Fiber is real, duh. I know that. I don't know, you know, I bet you, I'm kind of curious if there's anybody in the world, and I say the world, that's a pretty bold statement, or even in America, that consumes as much fiber as I do. I'm just curious, I don't know. Almost everything I consume has fiber. I'm always doing my... Greg, any suggestions for an alternative food from Capra Mineral that are rich in glutathione? I don't worry about glutathione. You know why? Because you should read the research on glutathione. Hydrogen helps bring up the levels to nice levels, like, you know, plus all the nutrients. When you get all the nutrients in your body, and you get the hydrogen in, it just seems to balance everything out. That's why I don't need a bunch of stuff. Okay, fiber. We already know about fiber, but it says many Americans don't even get half the amount of the minimum requirement. I already knew that. Which 1 ounce, holy crap, 1 ounce of chia seeds. Do you think I put an ounce in here? You guys ever watch how much I put in there? Oh my gosh, I must be getting so much fiber, it's ridiculous. No wonder I have such good movements. 1 ounce of chia seeds, you will get 10 grams of fiber. That is half the amount of fiber that a woman needs daily. Half. Just 1 ounce. Fiber keeps you feeling full for longer. That's why I like the smoothies. Helping to lose weight, lowers blood pressure. High fiber diets are associated with lower risk of diabetes. Fiber is also a healthy preventative diet. And if you've been diagnosed, especially diagnosed, why does it say that? Fiber is also a vital part of a healthy preventative diet. Even if you've been diagnosed with something, especially fiber from greens and seeds. What am I always talking about? Fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. I mean, this is like so simple. Talk about calcium. We've all heard about milk making your bones strong, but you rarely hear about leafy greens and chia seeds. One serving, and I don't know, I think I'm putting more than one serving, but one serving gets you almost 20% of your daily need of calcium. And that's just the chia seeds. I mean, shoot, look at this thing. How much calcium's in this thing? This has 19 milligrams of calcium. And that's just for how much? 3 tablespoons. I probably do put way more than that in there. And that's just that. Notice all the things that I'm combining. Okay. In just one smoothie, that's funny, they're actually talking about smoothies. And you're on your way to keeping healthy bones and teeth. Very, very important. And a hefty amount of phosphorus, which also keeps your bones healthy, and cellular repair and regrowth and blah, 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 blah. I mean, I feel like I'm just preaching about what I already showed you guys, but okay. Brain health. Oh yeah, good for brain health. And then they try to tell you how to make a smoothie. And they're like, put an ounce of chia seeds, some leafy greens, add some fruit, blah, blah, blah. But you know, I've never seen a smoothie like mine though. I don't get it. Okay, so that's chia seeds. Anything else, guys? Should we go through every ingredient in this thing? I know one. How about, because this one I've been big on forever. Health benefits of, I should just make a whole video for this one. Natto. You guys want to hear what natto's really good for? You really want to get into this? The fermented superfood that everybody, and let's go to WebMD. Some actual data. All right. There is a specific bacteria that is produced in regards to this whole fermentation process when they make the natto, which, I mean, I already knew about. High natto consumption has actually been linked to the Japanese's population living longer. They have longer lifespans and reducing chronic disease. In particular study that proves this showed that people with diets rich in natto have literally lower rates of death from heart disease. Natto's health benefits. I mean, there's, oh, this is long. Unique enzymes in them. The bacteria that activates, remember I was showing you how to activate the natto kinase, that gives the food its kind of, they say cheese-like flavor. I don't know if it tastes like cheese. Has a range, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of scientifically backed health benefits. It has been popular for thousands of years. Food, what a surprise. Oh my gosh. You can even buy, this is for that one guy who was asking, you can also buy homemade natto kits. So boom, you can buy your own homemade kit. Health benefits, it is rich in protein, rich in vitamins, rich in minerals. And most of the benefits are actually packed in or associated to the natto kinase enzyme. Natto is the only food source, the only, by the way, only, just one, the only one that has natto kinase in it. There's no other food in the world that has natto kinase, however you want to pronounce it. I like to call it natto kinase, but I know everybody keeps saying that that's the wrong way. You can also buy even that as a supplement. Natto kinase has powerful keyword, hydrogen power. Imagine hydrogen with natto kinase. Can you guys wrap your head around that one? Nobody's figured that one out yet, except for apparently me. Because just watch, combine all this stuff with the natto, guys, I'm telling you. Follow this protocol for 10 days. See what happens. I'm telling you, I really will. I will put my blood work up against anybody. They're like, oh no, you should eat nothing but this, or you should eat nothing but meat and eggs, or you should eat nothing but fruit only or live off the air. Yeah, I'd like to see your blood. Let's do it. Let's do something about this. I mean, we got to prove it, right? Okay, let's see what else we're doing here. Research suggests, let's see, lowers heart disease, powerful effects on, studies show that nattokinase dissolves blood clots. Wow, that's cool. We're not going to talk about that too much, okay? Because we know we don't get free speech around here. So we're just going to say, improves blood flow. Now there's another one. How many things do I have to take that improve blood flow? Isn't that awesome? Let me tell you, blood flow is super important. You don't have proper blood flow, you got problems. Proper blood flow also helps, the nattokinase also appears to help with your blood vessel structure, basically helping even improve blood flow even more, and lowers the risk of heart disease, which we already talked about. Even helping lower blood pressure, which reduces the strain on the heart, which is obviously what leads to heart attacks. Did you know that it could even help with chronic sinusitis? Did you know that one? So, that is, chronic sinusitis is an ongoing inflammation of your sinuses that can be caused by allergies, bacteria, fungal infections, or even asthma. It's the most chronic disease in adults. Boy, I didn't know that. Sometimes people with chronic sinusitis may even need surgery to clear the nasal passages. Yikes. But research shows nattokinase can shrink blockage-causing nasal polyps and thin mucus, improving airflow while reducing discomfort. Because of these effects, scientists continue to study this enzyme. I'm telling you, the Japanese are nuts over this, guys. They do so much research on this to treat symptoms of respiratory conditions like COPD and bronchitis. Dang. You guys still wondering if the smoothie is good for you? Anybody? While I inhale some hydrogen, am I being a total jerk here? I'm not trying to be a jerk, by the way. I'm just trying to show you guys, you know. Okay, what else? Gut health. Improving gut health and metabolism. Nattokinase can actually promote good balance of gut bacteria. And by the way, hydrogen has some amazing stuff with that. That's why I combine these things, okay? Also known as your microbiome. Poor gut health weakens your immune system, increases your risk of chronic diseases like diabetes, obesity, rheumatoid arthritis, cancer, heart disease. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. On and on it goes. Let's see. Health risks. Health risks for nattokinase. We should know this, right? Nattokinase is actually generally safe, but the enzyme is extremely potent. So you have to be cautious if you have certain health conditions and you're going to start consuming a ridiculous amount of it. So be careful with that. Remember I told you guys, I remember reading Japan, they're like, don't consume more than 3 or 4 packs of this stuff a day. I only do like 1, maximum 2. It says, talk to your doctor. Yes, talk to your doctor, please, guys. There is no medical advice here. Please go talk to your doctor before you add any food. Wow, that's crazy. Now you got to talk to your doctor about food, even though they don't really study food, but that's okay. Go talk to your doctor about food or supplements that you're going to add to your diet because of any health risks that you may have. Now, this is another one I told you guys before. Drug interactions. This is interesting. Natto could have an effect with drug interactions. Why? Well, I'll explain to you. I've already talked about this before, but it's important that you guys know this. Excessive bleeding can occur because remember what I told you, that natto thins the blood, almost like a natural statin, okay? So, nattokinase may be able, and this is what it's saying, okay? I'm reading off the WebMD, okay? I'm not making any claims here. It says, nattokinase can dissolve blood clots, but people who are taking blood thinner medication will now be at a higher risk of bleeding. Because think about it, if you're taking a blood thinner and then you're taking something like natto, and the Japanese doctors do know this. I don't know of almost any doctor in America that knows this, but they're gonna learn because this is coming, right? So doctors have often recommended daily aspirin regimens for people with heart disease and stroke. Why? Think about it, guys. Not taking nattokinase can increase the aspirin's effects. So it's almost like you're taking double, however, which could lead to an unexpected amount of bleeding. So nattokinase May also help lower blood pressure. If you have low blood pressure or you're taking medications to lower your blood pressure, make sure to talk to your doctor. Because the biggest thing is that if you're taking medications for certain things like lowering blood pressure, and then you take something that actually lowers blood pressure naturally, like food, now you're gonna lower it too low. Same thing with hydrogen, I've seen it do that. So this is why these are important things to note, but hopefully you just can prevent the problems altogether. It also appears that natto might actually help with deep vein thrombosis. Another super awesome, I mean, this is all unbelievable. But it shouldn't be used without doctor supervision. Oh boy, guys, you better not eat that fermented bean. You really need to be under doctor supervision. So be careful with that. Because theoretically, now they're just saying theoretically, natto could dislodge a blood clot, which could cause complications. So be very careful with that. Pregnancy. There is basically not enough research that even shows, they don't have any actual research indicating that nattokinase is either safe or not safe or whatever for breastfeeding women. Please consult your physicians. I bet you the Japanese do though. I'd have to probably do some research about that. There is no set recommended dosing of natto, but studies suggest, you know, maybe 100 to 200 milligrams a day. So that's natto for you guys. All right, let's see here. I get all excited with this stuff. All right. Okay, let's see. Greg, any suggestions? Oh, Terry's saying, okay, makes sense. Okay. MD says, haha, you got to move it. I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. Helen says, I've never eaten hemp hearts before doing this smoothie. I like them. Yeah, they are great. MD says, happen uplifting day. Be well. I have to go find a healthy source of good natto so I can get my natto on. You go, boy. Northern Yeti says, I used to take natto kinase as a supplement. Hurt my stomach sometimes. No problems with natto though. There you go. And see who makes a supplement. Got to get a good source. Sunshine says, my husband went off all meat. Miracle. He's serious about getting well. Won't mention the malady, of course, here, as I'd much rather discuss, I won't even say that word, but better discuss what could potentially help him. Terry says, I need natto bad. Sunshine says, hope you leave this video up. All right, I'll try. Terry says, thank you, Greg. I was very depressed before I found you. I had 2 heart attacks, oh my gosh, in the last 8 months. Have heart failure and have given up on life, but now I've got hope. Hey, Terry, remember, my heart was all screwed up too. Just make sure to get on the healthy track, and you're definitely gonna need to get on hydrogen if you got some heart issues, in my opinion. That's what I just, my own personal opinion. They actually do use it in Japan for heart attacks, I believe so. Okay, Sunshine. Wow, Terry. Wonderful. Thanks, Sunshine. Northern Yeti says, they'll be good as new, Terry C. Thanks, Yeti. All right, guys. Okay, guys, I think this video is pretty long today. I'm sure we could keep doing research on every ingredient that I put in the smoothie. Let's research walnuts. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I think that's enough. We don't need to go over every ingredient. Maybe we will someday if you guys really want to, but I think I went enough into that one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. Share, subscribe. Not that it's gonna make any difference, but who knows, maybe it will. And thanks for hanging out, guys. Any last questions? Nope? Okay, bye-bye. Everybody have a good